Hello, in this video I would like to talk about cropping and clipping in Android. So it's a very common problem for me, my personal mistake, that some parent view crops the shadow of its child views. And when I bump into this problem, I'm just trying to solve it somehow randomly. Like I try to type clip in some layouts, and then I see that in tooltips in IntelliSense we have some clipToPadding property, and I said like false, like no clip please, and then clipChildren, and then I said like no clip please, and then as you see it works somehow for this layout. And I can see some results, and usually building takes some time, so I don't really want to experiment. Instead, I just set more clipChildren, more clipPadding to false, yeah, and so on and so on. And I just put it to everything I just see until it works properly. So yeah, and finally it works the right way. But I want to understand it a little bit deeper, and just not to set all the properties randomly, and just to set only those properties that I needed. In this example, you can see a bunch of cards. It's like a deck of cards. It's rendered like one card is on top of another card, but in layout context, in layout terms, they're all internal views. So one layout is outer layout, and then there is some inner layout, and then another inner layout, and so on. Okay, now when we're having a working layout, let's try to optimize it and unset some properties. Let's start with the green card. Whoa, we unset it, and the blue rectangle is still being rendered correctly. Let's try to unset properties for the red rectangle. Boom! And now, instead of green card being cropped, actually the blue card is being cropped. Let's return the code, and now let's try to remove only clipToPadding. Okay, it's still working correctly. Okay, now let's try keep removing clipToPadding. Well, okay, it's still working correctly. So we didn't set clipToPadding at all, only in the root view. And now let's try to remove the root view. It's in the root view. Bam. And once we removed it in the root view, everything is cropped. Okay. I want to mention that it's cropped exactly to paddings of the root view. So on the left side, we don't really have paddings. It's just a translation X of the first gray view. And vertical paddings are really common from the paddings of the root view. Okay, so how clipToPadding exactly works? Let's return this line of code that turns off clipToPadding for the root view. And now let's try to work with the red view. So we want to clip all the content outside of the red view. We set clipToPadding true, and bam, it doesn't work. Why? Because the padding is not set. So it's like 0 dp. If we change it to 1 dp, then we can see only the content inside the red view and nothing outside of it. But what if we don't really want to introduce some additional padding? Okay, let's try to add some really small padding like 0.0001 dp. It doesn't work. Okay, 1 0 less, and now it works correctly. So you see, if we want to crop only view content, if we want to crop outside of it and keep only the content inside, it's the only way actually to do it. Now let's try to reproduce it with the gray panel. Yeah, it works perfectly with the gray panel, and with the green, yeah, and now it works greatly for the green panel. Okay, so how does clipChildren work? Let's try to understand. Let's set it to true for the red card, and once we set it to true, then the green card started to crop its own content. The green card is the only child of the red card, so really a child started to crop its content. Like clipChildren true means that children clip their content. So it's exactly the same as if green card itself set padding to something very similar to 0 and set clipToPadding to true. So it's exactly the same. Now there is no effect, but we can just remove clipToChildren true. We can set it to false. Yeah, and nothing really changes. So that's how it works. Let's try once again. So let's try to remove this logic from the green card and set it to the red card. Now red card crops its own content. And it's exactly the same like if gray card set clipChildren to true. So yeah, nothing really changes. Now we can entirely remove this code. So yeah, this is how